So then here comes Charlotte with Ric Flair. Charlotte is back. Flair's dressed to the nines. Down the aisle they come. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to do some business here. And the match is Charlotte and Asuka against Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. I've been waiting all this time to see Charlotte, and across the ring from her is the absolute worst gimmick in female wrestling, and I've never seen Peyton Royce, and Charlotte is partners with a fucking tiny Japanese midget. So I said, okay, I'm going to fast forward until Rick does something. I'm going to fast forward until Rick does something. And I did. Basically, Lacey the quote was from the announcers, made advances toward Rick at one point. And then at the end, which was, I did watch the last minute or so, it was fairly rotten and very sloppy. But then Lacey hits on Flair again. But then, for whatever reason, the action starts back in the ring, and Rick tripped Charlotte. And Charlotte got beat. She got beat from being tripped. But it wasn't like the legs were close. Charlotte ran. The other girl had run into the ropes, hit the ropes, and bounced back off, and then Charlotte ran past her and hit the ropes, and Rick tripped her. There was no way this was a mistake. Was it supposed to be portrayed as a mistake? Did this blocking fall apart? What was the meaning behind it? How did Rick allegedly made a mistake? It was bigger than God and everybody, bigger than the nose on his face. That was his daughter in front of him that he was tripping. Somebody else that wrote this thing is tripping. And then Charlotte gets up in Rick's face and says, stay out of my business, and kicks him out of the building. What, did this make sense if you watched? I assume you watched the match.
I did.
Did it make sense?
No, of course it didn't make sense. First of all, Asuka's great. I'm not going to let you put her down here. She's fantastic. She's not a midget. And I don't know if you saw Peyton Royce talk at all. She's like an Australian Fran Drescher. Ooh, that voice. But, the whole thing with Lacey Evans and Flair, I'm going to give the writers credit. They know Flair's type. But other than that, no, it was silly. Again, we don't watch these shows, so I'm not even exactly sure how long Charlotte's been back.
No, I think she just got back.
She just got back. I mean, I don't know if it was like last week or a couple weeks, but I don't think she's been with Rick, has she? I mean, it was kind of like they did this big thing with stay out of my way. Has he been in your way at all in years?
It might have happened last week. I don't fucking know. But Flair was demoralized, made to look like a bumblefuck, talked down to by his daughter, kicked out of the building. What in the... let's just say in another universe, the match that Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair had at WrestleMania, which was the highlight of the show, was the best thing on the show. Because everybody else was still trying to figure out how to do the empty arena thing, and it was a bunch of garbage matches, and it was people that couldn't get it, and the girls nailed it and had an athletic contest. And then shortly afterwards, Charlotte leaves to have a surgery to fix her Zabada. If anybody had had any forethought, because it's not like somebody can't see that Rhea Ripley should be a movie star, a female action movie star. She's probably, I would say, more qualified than anybody else in wrestling to be the number one female box office attraction in it. And Charlotte would be right there if Rhea Ripley is not. So when Charlotte goes away, why didn't they spend the time establishing Rhea Ripley as the biggest, I won't say big, as the top girl in any of the WWE divisions? She's number one. She's got whatever the women's belt the biggest is, that's what she's got. And give her a fucking push as a baby face, the way she works, the way she talks, the way she looks, and establish her. And then when Charlotte and Ric Flair come walking down the aisle on the Legends show of Raw, the first show of 2021, then Ric Flair cuts a promo where he says his daughter is the greatest female attraction in the history of professional wrestling, just like he was the greatest male attraction. And his daughter has fought through another setback and is returned to claim what is rightfully hers. To be the woman, you got to beat the woman. And Rhea Ripley, you may have thought you beat the woman last year, but she's better than ever. And I have given her the killer instinct. I've made her the dirtiest player in the game. And then let Charlotte come out and cut a full heel promo, ripping Rhea Ripley to shreds, being a real bitch, being a female Ric Flair, until Rhea Ripley storms out with no fucking music and maybe a couple of referees trying to hold her back and her saying, fuck you, no, and gets in the ring and tells off Charlotte Flair, whereupon Rick gets up in fucking Rhea Ripley's face and says, you can't say that to my daughter, you whatever the fuck you can say about a woman on television these days and get by with it. And Rhea Ripley slaps the taste out of Ric Flair's mouth and nails fucking Charlotte, boom, and gets her goddamn cloverleaf on Charlotte. And fucking Flair does the chop block on Rhea Ripley from behind. And down she goes, and Flair puts the figure 4 on Rhea Ripley in the middle of the ring, and Charlotte jumps up and does the moonsault and splashes the legs. And Rhea Ripley screams, and the fucking security and the medical personnel hit, and they fucking separate Ric Flair from the goddamn legs, and Rhea Ripley's screaming, and fucking Rick and Charlotte are standing with their hands in the air, and Rhea Ripley gets carted out on a goddamn stretcher in an ambulance to the hospital. And there's your WrestleMania angle, the rematch. And this time it's for the fucking title, and this time Ric Flair is going to be in the corner of his daughter Charlotte. Now you got a goddamn angle. Now you got a goddamn match. Now you got something people might be interested in. What the fuck?
Why do that when you could just have Charlotte beat Rhea Ripley and then have Rhea Ripley continue to lose and do stupid stuff and be involved in stupid programs for another year before you call her up to the main roster?
And then in the back, Randy Orton berated and emasculated Mark Henry, who was on a scooter. I don't know what, has he had leg surgery? Did he break his ankle? Did he have his knee replaced? What's going on there?
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
And I'm assuming it's just a temporary thing, but berated and verbally emasculated him and then told him to tootle on off on his scooter, and Mark did and was never seen again. What the fuck is that all about?
If you're a legend in kayfabe, if you're a legend, why participate in this?
I don't care, kayfabe or real life. I wouldn't have. If they expect me to get on a plane and fly to Florida in the middle of a pandemic to do this TV shoot, I would say, what am I going to be doing? If they'd have told me that, I would never save your plane ticket.